Hey, it's your friend Julie Voorhees here, certified mental performance coach. And if you like my content, I would love for you to like and share with a friend of yours who you think it may help, or just subscribe to my channel so that you get notifications when I present more content. So thank you for watching this video. And I want to share with you today 5 questions that I really feel you need to ask yourself. Why? Because when we slow down and reflect on our lives, it reveals to us what's working, what's not working, what brings us joy, and what creates stress in our life. And we really need to focus on these things. And we have to dig into our own wisdom, listen to our own feelings, and evaluate, make more intentional choices on what we choose to do. Because we can all get super busy on life and life just passes us by. So when we reflect on it and determine what is moving our needle forward, because I need to add more of that in. So here's some questions I want you to ask yourself to see how you can honestly answer these questions and reflect on, do you need to change something in your life to move forward? You're putting a name on your current state, your feelings, how you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. Maybe you're feeling anxious. Maybe you're feeling happy. Maybe you're feeling joyful. All of those things you need to know and realize what creates those feelings that you're having. So ask yourself this: how am I feeling? And really reflect on, how are you feeling? The next question I want you to ask yourself is, who have I been around recently and who brings me joy? So think of all the people that you've been around in the past week, month, and think about who created times where you felt joy, you felt happy, you felt connected, you felt a warm heart. So for example, let me give you an example of my day yesterday. Yesterday, I met with one of my previous kindergarten students for lunch. That brought me so much joy hearing about her life and knowing that she took time out of her busy day to come see me. She doesn't even live in my area. She lives about 40 minutes, 45 minutes away. And she came here to visit me and catch up and share her life with me. That was so heartwarming for me. Then I went and sat on another friend's boat and we just talked about what's upcoming in our life. And that alone, preparing for the future and the things you have scheduled, just brings you joy because you realize there's good things to come. So think about that question. Who brings you joy? Who do you want to be around more? And try to schedule that into your week. Maybe instead of waiting for the weekend to schedule things, schedule something during the week. Let me give you another example. A friend of mine, Teresa, reached out to me and she said, "Hey, how would you feel about playing pickleball?" And I'm like, "I would love to. That sounds like a lot of fun." And so we created a standing date of Tuesday night to play pickleball. This week it was raining out and we canceled, and my heart wasn't full. So make a point to create those times and those breaks for yourself. So you're not just work, taking the kids, doing all of these things that you normally do. Think about, how can you schedule fun into your week? So that's something. Who do you want to be around more? What's something you did recently that brought you joy? For me, I don't know why this brings me joy. It makes me calm, I want to say. I'm going to give you an example. I have lots of flowers around my house. And when I go around to each of my flower pots and deadhead the flowers and make them look pretty again, it just brings me joy. So it alleviates the stress I have in my life. And I love that feeling. Or when I skim the pool of all of the top floating bugs and leaves and whatever has blown in there, and I make it look crystal clear again, that brings me joy. So, how can you add joy into your life? How can you do it intentionally? What are the things you love that you can add into your life? Even if they're very small, maybe it's sitting and reading for 10 minutes, a good book. And if you can read it longer and you have more time, then you indulge in more time. Otherwise, what happens is we get burnt out. We feel overwhelmed. We feel swamped. We are not connecting with the outside world unless we're just scrolling social media. But when you get out and you do things, it creates joy. It creates happiness. So make sure you're making points of doing that. My question forward to you is, what's one thing that you've been putting off that's been draining energy from you? Okay, so let me give you an example. Downstairs, our furnace room, I pull out totes and I get out stuff and then I don't put it back and it's all in the middle. And my husband's constantly saying and threatening to me, when you die, I'm gonna throw it all away. Like he just told me that yesterday. I'm gonna get a big garbage and I'm just gonna throw everything in there. And I'm like, okay, I won't care. But here's the thing, I put it off because I don't want to do it. It feels overwhelming to me. But really, if I organize it, it's just things that I pulled out and I haven't put back. It might take me 30 to 45 minutes, tops. It's not huge. It's not something I want to do every day, but I could check it off my list. Or here's another thing. I have 2 junk drawers in the kitchen. Why? I don't know. It's like fall. Everything that sits on the counter, I just push into the junk drawer. My husband hates that too. And I feel like it takes me a good solid 15 minutes one morning to just clean it out. Why don't I do that? Super easy. It would take a burden off my shoulders that every time I open the drawer, I'm not like, ah. So, what have you been putting off that's draining you of energy? Make a point to do it because sometimes these things only take us 5 to 10 to 15 minutes. And once we do it, we feel so much relief. So make a point of that. The small things, whether it's getting on the phone and calling someone you haven't talked to, or just pick a small task that you've been putting off and get it done so you can check it off your list. And then my final question I have for you is, what's something new that you could try during the week? You know how I told you that I was playing racquetball once a week? What's something you could add into your schedule once a week, just once a week? And maybe it's you've been putting off exercise and you could add in a 15-minute walk somewhere just during the week to elevate your energy. Maybe it's meeting someone for lunch once a month. And then you could change that person around and meet a different person every week. Or if that's too much, maybe you could plan to talk to a friend. And it doesn't have to be the same friend every week, but schedule a 30-minute time block of time off your schedule and call someone. Because I guarantee after you talk to that person, you're going to feel better. Friends always make us feel better. So today, I wanted to ask you these 5 questions to shed light on what's really going on with you. We can learn from our own feelings, but we're always so busy, we don't sit down to really evaluate how we're feeling. We just go, 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 do, do, do. I know I'm a mom too. I do the same thing. I put off things. I sit on the couch. I get lazy sometimes. And what we really need to do is focus on what brings us joy, what brings us happiness, what brings us to alleviate our stress and elevate our energy. So think about the 5 questions I asked today, and I want you to really dive in and be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself with self-awareness, connection, joy, energy, being able to release stress, growing, changing. Because honestly, when you answer those questions and you add in joy to your life, you are going to feel much better. Again, I'm Julie Voorhees. Thank you for coming all the way to the end of this video. I appreciate your time today. And if you think that you could share this with someone, that it might help them as well, please share it. Make sure to like it, share it, and again, if you like my content, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, and until I see you next time, don't forget to give yourself a high five and tell yourself an affirmation. Very important. So long.